Sup am I the asshole? AITA for reporting my mom for identity fraud. I, 24M, and my GF put in an application to rent a condo and found out my mom borrowed $43,000 with my social insurance. I talk with a lawyer and he tells me I can either report my mom for identity fraud or pay it off or declare bankruptcy. I confront my mom and she begs me not to do it and just pay off the debt. I don't have anywhere near that money and decide to do what the lawyer recommended. The lawyer told me filling out the police report is not the same as pressing charges, but I'm still scared what might happen to her. We used to be very poor and she used my social insurance to pay the bills and provide for me and my brother. This feels like I'm betraying her and my brother refuse to speak to me. My relatives all stopped talking to me. Am I the asshole here? Edit. People are asking me if my mom or family could pay it. I don't think so. My mom is on social assistance and my family isn't much better off. My grandma has a house, but I'm not asking her to sell it. Also, my lawyer said a police report is just to get the ball rolling on clearing up the debts and recovering my credit. It doesn't include her name. Lawyer said providing suspect is not necessary, but I'm sure if they tried they would figure out it's her. My mom might face charges, but it's unlikely she would get jail time. Edit. People are asking why she didn't put the loans under her name. She's got terrible credit and has declared bankruptcy before, but I'm not sure when. I don't know if my brother has checked his credit. He blocked me on WhatsApp, FB and his phone. Edit. To clarify, she probably didn't borrow $43,000, it's probably $10–20,000 that grew with interest, fees etc. NTA. $43,000 is a serious sum. You could consider not doing it if she paid that debt off, if you were feeling okay with that solution. But it's unlikely to happen if everyone, including her, thinks you should be the one to do it. Do they think you're just going to pull that money out of a hat? There are always going to be feelings hurt because family, but is it what family would do, to put someone in debt by committing a fraud? Nope. She doesn't have the money. She gets social assistance, which is barely enough to cover her rent and food. That isn't your responsibility. Your responsibility is the $43,000 worth of debt that she illegally put under your name. It wasn't to take care of you and your brother. You don't take care of your children by doing illegal things to them. Funny how the brother also thinks OP's tough. Probably because mommy dearest didn't steal money from him. If I was the brother, I might be running my credit before I cast any stones. Please report her. My parents did this to 2 of my sisters and tried to do it to me when I moved out of the country. The other 4 older of us siblings managed to pull $30K out of our ass to cover for one sister when she was kicked out of school for defaulted loans she had no idea about, but because we bailed her out they went and did it to our other little sister, who pressed charges immediately, filed a report as soon as she found out. She's kinda my hero TBH, and though all of our extended family is so mad at her, I wish we'd been strong enough as the older children to stand up and do it the first time. Please do not put yourself in a hole, op. And get your social insurance number changed immediately. Edit. To add further consideration, if we had pressed charges the first time, they wouldn't have tried a second sister. While your brother is pissed at you now, you acting now will almost definitely keep her from thinking she can do this same thing to him. Just food for thought. And good luck on eventually getting yourself a condo. Edit. Guys, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but please stop spending your awards on my comment. It's so nice, but I want you to use them for other things, and don't use Reddit as much as most, so I feel like they might be better appreciated be you someone else. But thank you for the thought, that's what counts. Throwing kisses. NTA. Your mom committed fraud and left you owing $43K to the government. I know things can get desperate for people sometimes, but the fact that she didn't tell you. She hasn't made attempts to pay it back, work with you to pay it back, that shows she's not taking responsibility for her actions. Let me ask you this, if it was anyone besides your mother, what would you do? This is always the thing I ask when family is involved in this kind of thing. If you took the family part out of the equation, would you press charges? If a stranger had used stolen credentials to get a loan, would that victim press charges? Yes. Op is a victim of their mom. NTA. Fraud is fraud. It's horribly short-sighted to put your child into debt like that. Also, she wasn't providing for them, she was making op unknowingly provide. It's like me maxing out credit cards that I took out in my kid's name. It's so gross how often this actually happens. Not just credit cards, but cable, internet, mail order services, vehicles. Growth. NTA. She should have talked to you about it, not do it in secret. My mill made tons of debt on my so and Bil's name, on her ex-husband's, even on her dead mother's. My so lost some job opportunities on some occasions when applying to work at banks here in Brazil. BC her mom made debt in her name without consulting first. No matter the reason, using a relative's name to borrow money is never acceptable without consent. Remember the simpler times when parents raved on social about stealing their kids' Halloween candy? Pepperidge Farm likes and